Justin, he has, if you want to see what I was in the beginning, very evangelistic, and everything was an object lesson. All right? He's going to make it come alive. You're going to see it before he tells you, I guarantee it. So just kind of let him have his way, let God have his way, and I'm going to sit down, and I'm right here when you need me. All right? There's the microphone.
This is an escape I told a few of you about months ago, and it just takes a long time to get these down to where I can actually perform them. I've never performed this one in front of a group of people. A lot of you have seen me do the handcuff escape, and that's something I've done in front of groups of people before, but I've never actually performed this zip tie escape. I'm actually going to pass around the zip tie later because I got thinking many people may not know what a zip tie is and how if it's tied around me that I can't get out of it. So I'm actually going to use one as a demonstration, and they're both the same. There's no gimmick on them. I'm going to use that to escape. But this lesson came to me because years ago, when I was a teenager, I worked in a grocery store. And when you work in a grocery store, or I guess any other public forum like that, you have to watch these training videos. And they were, thank you. Yeah. And horrible. But one was about kidnapping. If a child gets kidnapped, about what they normally do. You know, a lot of times they'll change the child's clothes, but won't change their shoes. That's something you look for, is their shoes, if they, you know what kind they have on. But a lot of things they'll do, because not everybody can get handcuffs. They use a zip tie as a makeshift handcuff. When you put these on, they're made not to break. Anybody that works construction or auto mechanics knows what these are. They don't break, they don't pull apart. And I got thinking about how can I use one of these as an escape. Well, I came up with some scripture. I'm going to have Jeff read that. Will we please, Jeff, come? It's Genesis 40 and verse 14 and 15.
Genesis 40, 14 and 15. But when all goes well with you, remember me and show me kindness. Mention me to Pharaoh and get me out of this prison. For I was forcibly carried off from the land of the Hebrews, and even here I have done nothing to deserve being put in a dungeon.
When he says forcibly carried off, what was it? Kidnapped. The definition of kidnap from the dictionary is to seize and detain or carry away by unlawful force or fraud, and often deemed for ransom. That's what the devil does to all of us. The fraudulent means, he puts things in front of us and he's put capture before we know really what's going on. And I'm actually going to have to lay the microphone down, so I'm going to try to speak loud. I hope you guys can hear me for this lesson. And as Jeff said, just kind of go with it. I've got a plan, believe it or not. I'm going to be all over the place, but just kind of go with it. And I hope this lesson blesses you. This is a zip tie. Pardon me, my hand's shaking. I want everybody to pass this around. Pull on it as hard as you can. Try to break it. Everybody know your mouth. Everybody did good as well as all the guys testifying. Y'all did so well. Way better than we're going to give this a shot.
He's waiting for it to go around. He's just making time. He mumbles like I do. Just stop.
Exactly, stop. don't know what I'm doing. I'm just up here.
Dude, that's the way I was last week. You just kind of take up time and space. God does the rest.
Exactly.
You get that. All right.
He's gonna use it on you later.
You've been helping Mike to do your thing.
No, I'm actually gonna have you,
All right.
go ahead and rock it out.
All right, here we go, guys. Let's see what we got.
So everybody agrees that that is a good idea to use as a makeshift lock or handcuff, right? Now, first off, what did you guys see? In theory, Jeff could have overpowered me and maybe let him put it on me, but I allowed him to do that. It was much easier for me to say, okay, here. That's what we all do when we open ourselves up to the devil. Or to the world for that matter. The devil uses the world as a puppet.
That's right.
But when we allow ourselves to be brought into things, most of the time it's our own doing and we don't even realize what we're doing until it's already happened. So we're sucked in. And a lot of times this band around my hands represents a much bigger issue. First, my first point to this is I'm going to talk about something I know about very well, and that's depression. Yes, come here, please. Now remember, this band is the bigger problem. But what people don't see
Amen.
is the big problem.
Amen.
They just see the signs of the big problem.
Amen.
You see that I'm sad or I'm disinterested or I don't have energy to do anything like I used to. And that's the big problem. Yeah, push to the ground. I can't get up because I can't use my hands. Every day, something's beating on me and holding me down. Even though I can't get up, I can't get up. If I had my hands free, it might be easier. But I can't get up because my hands are free. I mean, I lost them. They're not free. That's the big issue. Everybody has a big issue that they're carrying around that the world doesn't see or the world doesn't want to see. And that's what leads to so many problems, and people feel like they're trapped in that and they can't get out. These things have been going on for generations of families. It can be addiction or whatever. It's been carried on because people don't see the big problem. They ignore the big problem and just let it go because that's just a sign of the big problem, and they just think that's normal.
That's right.
It's not normal to walk around sad all the time. God didn't intend for us to live that way. It's not normal to have crying spells that some with depression do. It's not normal to not have interest in things you love to do. It's not normal to be tired all the time. I've heard so many times that people that sleep all the time, they're just lazy. Some of them are. I'll give you that. Not all the time. It's their body can't take any more because their mind is overpowering their body. Their mind is actually draining their body's energy. The body is just a shell that you're in. Your body can only take so much.
But it's the mind.
You said it. It's the mind that controls everything.
That's right.
That was a little tangent I just want to go off on. But with this, again, Jeff, hold your hands out, hold on. I can't fight Jeff off. Jeff's going to be the devil for the rest of the sermon.
You didn't tell me that.
So, I can't fight Jeff off. In theory, I could kick Jeff. I'm not going to him.
And he is like a third degree, whatever, all that junk, so he could probably hurt you.
That's
Sorry.
The devil's going to push you and pull you anywhere you want to go.
Right.
I can't say no, 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 because Jeff's going to pull me wherever he says go. Everybody's trapped that way. And sometimes it gets easier when you can kind of walk away a little bit, but eventually the devil's going to come back and grab you and pull you and say, no, we're going here. You're not leaving. Because you know how many times I said, I'm stopping doing what I'm doing. I'm stopping being addicted. I'm stopping
That's right.
hanging around the people I'm hanging around. I'm going to do better. And I do that for 6 months.
You
I
do
do
that
that. I
for
do that
6
for a
months.
year.
Yep.
And all of a sudden the devil comes back because he knows what to do. And he
Mm-hmm.
told me, and I can't go anywhere.
That's right.
Well, we'll make my notes.
Okay.
First time doing this at home, guys. Bear with me, please. The devil's going to take you to a lot of different places. You talked about depression. Yeah, push me over there again. That was good. He can take you to this spot. This spot, a lot of people have and don't realize it. This spot says, you're too good for those people.
Mm.
You can't associate with those people. You're too good.
Mm.
You come from a good family or a good Christian family, so you can't associate with those people that are doing drugs or that are living poorly or don't live the lifestyle you agree with. You're too good for them. Again, that's just a sign of it. The big issue is all their life they've been taught by people, you're better than them. So it instills either a sense of pride or a sense of, I have to meet my standards that people have set before me because they've always told me how good I am or how perfect I am. So they always have to meet that high bar, and the bar gets higher and higher. But all you see is a sign of, you think that person's snobby or that person's a narcissist. They might be, but the big problem is they've been set up with a high standard from birth, a lot of times. Or they lived a bad lifestyle, and then they got better and they think, well, I'm stronger than them. Do you know how many people that I've met that lived the same kind of lifestyle I did and say, I beat it though, and I'm better than them, they need to just do like I did. I mean, I know people that knew me back in the day and see me now and think, well, why do you still associate with people that use drugs or people that drink or do whatever? Because I know how hard it is. Put yourself in their shoes. You don't know what it's like. Again, they're held on the ground. They can't get up because their hands are tied. It isn't that they want to do drugs or they want to drink or they want to live that lifestyle. Nobody wants to. Nobody
Amen.
woke up when they were a kid and said, when I grow up, I'm going to be homeless sitting on a street corner. Nobody
Amen.
thought that.
Amen.
But that's all they know to do to get past the feelings they feel because they were unwanted or felt unwanted, felt unvalued. They couldn't find their place. And then you have these people that have it instilled in them that they're too good, constantly pushing them to the side. So why should they try to do better when they keep getting held down by people?
That's right.
And also, by the same token, the people that have this bar set up, don't be so quick to dismiss them. They might hate that they're set up with a high standard of they have to be this or they have to be that because of how society or, life has treated them. They don't want to constantly be meeting this bar that's been set so high for them, but they have to, and eventually it becomes a obsession. So that's where you get these signs of snobbish or narcissism a lot of times. Like I said, it's all part of a bigger problem, but all we see are the signs. Okay. This side here, the spot here I'm in now, is the spot of you have to make an appearance. I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Most times it's church people, not always. It's head of the family, head of the household. You got to play mama, you got to play daddy, or you're an esteemed member of the family, you have to show up. And they're acting. They should be on soap opera. They're acting every day. They're miserable. But people say you have to do this because you're this. I mean, look at CEOs of companies or even supervisors. They say, you have to run it this way. You have to be an example. Sometimes you don't want to be an example of something you despise. But that's their daily life. And eventually, especially with church, it gets to where it's a chore. I don't want to do this anymore. But you have to make an appearance because everybody thinks, that you can go right into the guy that thinks they're too good. You're part of this family. You have to go. Because they all know us. You're not going to mess up my reputation. You know how many times I've heard that?
Yeah.
Before I knew what church was about, I would go in church and hear people saying, you're not going to mess up my reputation. One, you left high school a long time ago. Two, that ain't what this is about. It's not. If you go to church just to keep up a reputation, you're here for a totally wrong reason.
Yep.
You need to reevaluate your life. Because people like me, and pretty much everybody, can see right through that. Not a lot of people's going to tell you that, but they see right through your facade of, I'm this and I'm that. It's only on Sunday, it's only on Wednesdays. People see you on Tuesday when you're having a bad week, that's when you see the real person. And that can flush all that down. You might be an esteemed person. You might have people that watch you and see how you carry yourself, wonder what they do that makes their life so good. I want to be like them. All that can be shattered in 2 seconds when they catch you on a bad day and realize it's all fake. You know, that's what kept me out of church for a long time, was church people. It wasn't God, it wasn't the Bible, it was people in the church.
Right.
Because I saw how fake they were. And I said, I'm not going to be a part of that. I can go be fake anywhere. You know, a lot of times, you can make anybody in the world like you pretty much as long as you can fake good enough.
Amen.
As long as you can fake good enough, you can pretty much make anybody like you. I can make Bill Gates like me if I'm pretending I was a billionaire. You know? I'll be broke tomorrow. But, you know. Yeah. But, you know, that's the thing. I've noticed a lot of people, especially as an adult, adults that have a lot of friends, usually just play the part, see whatever friend that is. Most of the time, people that everybody likes are fake. Not always. Not just like Jeff. He's a nice guy. But
I'm the devil. Leave me alone.
I'm not Jeff.
Oh,
You guys are
I'll check that.
You know, that's the thing about it. People that are real recognize as real, fake recognize as fake, but fake's more willing to play the game with fake. Real people can't be around fake people. Don't be fake. That's any insight I can give you as to a lost person, what they're looking for, is not be fake. If it's something that you don't know about, call somebody that does. I mean, say, there's a lot of people that never touched drugs a day in their life. That's great. When somebody comes to you and says, I'm doing drugs, tell them, I don't know. I've never done that. But I'll find somebody that does know and that can help you.
That's right.
Because then they'll say, well, they tried to help me. That's great. Don't say I don't know, or worse, the spot I was just at, oh, I can't associate with that kind of person. They do drugs. What kind of devil stuff is that? No, I'm not going to mess up my reputation because I've been associating with that kind of person.
Or the way they dress.
Exactly. We should look like that.
You did, and I'm
But, yeah, like I said, that's what the world looks at. You think people don't drive by here and see this is a church, wonder why people are there? You know, they go by these big churches. I've been to the big churches and see the parking lots full. You know what everybody that goes by those big churches, and I've told them, they go to that church, they say, that place is huge. I wonder why everybody's there. Or I've heard that's just so those people in there can brag about how big and nice their church is. Nothing wrong with having a big church, but I'm just saying, if people in those churches are projecting that kind of vibe to the world, they're going to sense it and they're going to know it, so why would they go there? I mean, think about this. If I heard down the street, there's this guy that says, I hate men that wear jewelry. But guess what? There's a building with 50 of us and we all hate jewelry. Am I going to go there? Am I going to go there? No. So if you've got somebody that finds people and they say, well, you can come here, but you can't dress that way, you can't look that way. But come to this building where there's hundreds of us and we all hate the way you dress. Why would they come? Why do you guys think I came back here? Because I was going to a church, but I didn't have a church to go to. I'm not going to badmouth it. There's issues, but I'm not going to badmouth it. But everybody here never once said, take off all that jewelry. Why do you have earrings? You know how many times I've heard that? Why do you have earrings in your man? That's stupid. that's childish. Because God's not looking at that. I was wondering if you're here and if you're actually worshiping Him, if you love Him and believe in Him. Nowhere in the Bible does it say wear a nice suit and be clean shaven. Then you can go to heaven. No, it says believe on Jesus Christ. That's all it says.
Amen.
Everyone says look for it, act for it. Because we've all got the same goal. And that's what I've seen in those big churches. There's too many people tripping the other guy up because they forget we've all got the same goal. They forget we all worshiping the same God. Somewhere along the line they forgot about it, and it became a fashion show, and it became a, oh, I was at this, and I was at this, and I was at this, but that person was only at this service. Look how much I do. It's not about you.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
You got it. Here, we're gonna grab it. Here's that one. He's going to put that. Okay. Again, through all the years of going to different churches and seeing people what they were, the devil starts working in. All this is a lie. I think people that know me well, Christine knows it, Jennifer, I've talked with her before. I've studied a lot of philosophical anarchy. There's some good ideas in that stuff, there really is. I invite you to research on your own time if you wish to, but be mindful of what you're reading. So there's some good ideas in it. But one of the big deals about anarchy is everybody in your room knows there's no control. You know, Christianity, especially when it first came about, was not because they didn't want Christians. It was much more of they wanted control. The government at the time, they saw Christians as a rebellious group. Am I right, Jeff?
Amen.
History backs this up. It was a rebellious group. So they wanted control over the Christians because they wanted control over the government. And when you have control over the government, you have control over the money, you have control over the people. And that's the same thing that happens now. Anybody see that $1,000 phone on TV? Pretty much everybody did. $1,000 phone. You have to buy it because it's the newest, fanciest phone. You have to. You have to buy it. Because the TV says so.
Mary Ann's got two already.
But
Oh, setter.
it was an example. But think about this. It's a mentality. You don't need that. You want it, sure. And if you want it, you have the money, the funds and the means to do it, then by all means do it. But it's just because they told you you had to. And that's the exact same thing that's going on now in the world and in the Christian church, is you have to do it this way, you have to look a certain way, you have to act a certain way. Not biblical. It's not biblical. Some of the things people say, it's just because, well, that's the way I've always done it. One, that's a lie, because no, it's not the way you've always done it. Or two, that's the way I was raised. So, it doesn't matter to me at all. I don't care how you were raised. It doesn't mean it's right.
Amen.
All you're doing is taking people like me, and I'm sure people like everyone in this room, because I've talked to a lot of you, and y'all pretty much understand what I'm trying to say with all this, that y'all were ostracized because of how people treated you, because you were different, and because they couldn't understand why you were the way you were. So all that did was make you turn a cold shoulder to the Christian church. So you said, it's all a lie. Going back to my point. It's all a lie. All this, do you know you can do just a little bit of research and you can find a lot of religions that have a similar figure to Jesus Christ. All right? Similar figure. No proof of it, but they have a similar figure. A lot of mythologies and things like that. A lot of quote unquote dead religions. I mean, I saw on Facebook one time it was Jesus Christ did this, and so did this guy and this guy and this guy. I think Muhammad was born a virgin.
I'm not sure if they did or didn't, but he sure wasn't one to become a man.
But
He did the raping.
yeah, they think he was born.
Oh yeah, they kind of claim.
They claim, exactly. Me and Jeff have talked about this lesson. He didn't know where I was going to go, so I'm asking him questions on his knowledge. He's more knowledgeable about things like that, so he can back up. So you guys don't think, well, Justin's making up as he goes along. I'm not, Jeff, back me up. they can twist it however they want to go. They can twist it however they want to go. And the world's going to lap it up. Think about it. Have enough Christians became a laughing stock over the last few years, especially?
Yep.
And they've got all this science and everything just to prove that we're wrong. That's it. So it makes it even easier to deal with it's a lie. Again, that's just a sign. People saying, I don't want to go to church because it's full of hypocrites. That's a sign of the bigger problem being that they were unwanted or nobody was willing to deal with them because they weren't like everybody else, because they didn't follow them around like a blind sheep. You guys know herd animals, especially things like sheep, cows. If they're raised all their life to go through the gate and go back through the gate, go through the gate, go back through the gate, you can actually take the fence down.
That's right.
Leave the gate up. They will still go through the gate.
That's right.
There is no fence. That's just
right.
what they're taught.
That's right.
Wouldn't it be much more efficient just to go? But in their mind,
That's right.
there's a fence there.
That's right.
That's what the world is caught up in. All this political stuff, it's horrible, but a lot of it is just a distraction from the bigger underground of everything. As Jeff alluded to earlier, it's not about this versus that, or this party versus that party. It's good versus evil.
Amen.
And it's corruption,
Amen.
just masked as whatever they want. And they have no qualms about just burying somebody else to further their own agenda.
That's right.
Not get too political, but I mean, that's the way it's always been.
That's right.
If you go back to the beginning of time, it's always been this one wants control over that one, and they have no right to control them anyway, but that's what they want, that's what they're going to do, and they'll do whatever they have to.
Right back to the
complete
serpent
it.
in the Garden of Eden.
Exactly. We have to be very, very vigilant against that kind of stuff. So anytime you see somebody that says, I don't want to be part of church because it's all right, try to talk to that person. Because there's probably a very good reason as to why they feel that way.
Amen.
There certainly wasn't me. I
Amen.
had a very good reason as to why I wasn't going, why I didn't want to go. But I worked through it. Because people didn't give up on me.
That's
Trust me,
right.
I was very hard to deal with. Hello, Christine.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's right.
I wasn't so nice guy you see before you today. I was going through some stuff. Everybody's going through some stuff. Everybody's
right.
walking around with their hands tied.
That's right.
They can't see it. The world can't see it. Because all they do is give off signs. They don't see the big problem. You've got to find the big problem. One of the best things ever you can do for a person is tell them, I won't give up on you. And actually be there. Because they'll remember that. They'll call on you when they need you. You know how many times people tell another person, I'm your friend, I'll be there for you. And then when they need them, they're nowhere to be found.
Right.
I've known people over 10 years. One person I know, Christine knows who I'm talking about, I've known them for 14 years. Things got bad, nowhere to be found. Fake friends. People remember the people that were genuinely there and that genuinely cared, and they can see that a mile away. Be there for people, be open about it. Don't try to hide behind a facade of I'm too good for them or I'm better than them. I can't do it. Yes, you can. You can do it. All you gotta do is talk. It might be something over your head or something you've never dealt with, but either find them somebody that does know what they're talking about, or just be there and be a sounding board and talk to them.
Just listen.
Because that's what they need, because nobody else is listening. Why do you think you got these kids dabbling in witchcraft and stuff? Because that's a way to be accepted. Why do you think you have these kids dabbling in Satanism? Because, one, it offends people. Two, it's a way because other people are doing it. Why don't I? Do they genuinely believe it? No. I know a man. If I call him right now, he'd answer the phone. Hey, buddy. He calls him buddy. Friends. He is a Satanist. He doesn't believe in the devil. He is a Satanist. But he started doing that because it was counterculture. Back in the day, they had hippies. Now they got this. This stuff is. People are going to do whatever they have to do to be accepted. You don't learn to be a quote-unquote loner overnight, and most times not until you're an adult. children, especially teenagers, will do whatever they have to be accepted. Look any way they want to. But adults do it too. Don't think it's, oh, they're immature, that's what we're talking about. Adults do it too. I mean, how many people do you see that have jobs they hate? Because, oh, I had to go to school. My parents said I had to go to school, so I had to go to school. But they hate their job. And I'm not going to say names, but I've had several men come to me, talk to me, and say they're miserable in their marriage. Just because they said, well, that's what everybody said we should do, so we got married. They're miserable. Don't do what everybody says you should do. It's not fun. Because they're probably trying to steer you down the wrong path. Anytime anybody gives you advice, you always have to listen to it and think about it for what it is. Hear what it is, not what you want it to be. See things for what they are, not for what you want them to be. Because that will lead you down a very, very dark path and will take you where you don't want to go and keep you longer than you want to stay. That's right. Just by seeing things like a mirage. It's not really there, it's not really real. Okay. Move. Remember, I can't fight that. I have to go. So once you move past the it's a lie stage, they'll put you in this little nugget in your head saying, seek what you want. A lot of anybody in here, everybody knows who Ozzy Osbourne is, right?
Yep.
Anybody know the song Mr. Crowder?
Yep.
That was a real person.
Yep.
Now, Mr. Crowder was a real person. He coined the phrase, do what thou wilt. Which today's language says, do what you want. That's what the devil's going to tell you. Do what you want, because you only have a limited time on this earth. And that is the worst possible thing you can do. One of the worst mistakes in my life, in my whole life, took me 5 minutes to be convinced to do. And that's what it basically was why don't you do what you want, do what makes you happy. It took about, maybe not even 5 minutes, and went to me saying, yeah, that's a good idea, I should do that. And it's taken me years to get fixed, and it's still not completely fixed in my life. I'm not saying be miserable, I'm not saying be holed up in your house all the time, just reading the Bible and that's it, just leaving and go to church. I'm not saying that. Just be mindful of what is influencing you, of what you're letting in. Because I've opened myself up and stuff, and it's came in my life, and as I said, I'm still working on to this day. Because I unknowingly let stuff in. Still tied up. Again, that's just a sign of something bigger. People just do what they want. They're trying to find a little shred of happiness somewhere in their life because they can't find it anywhere else. It is just nowhere. A lot of drug addicts, you guys know this, will say that. They weren't happy, so they try to find peace somewhere. It does give you peace for a very short time. For a very short time, everything's peaceful. And then the after effect happens and it's destroying your body. You're in a little bit of peace for a lifetime of pain. All you're doing is shooting your body up with poison. And poison isn't always a physical form. It's not always a pill you take or something you shoot up. The people you're around give you just negativity, negative energy, bad vibes. And before you know it, you're just like them.
Yes.
You're walking around, you're mad all the time, you see the negative side of everything.
Yes.
All the time because of who you try to associate with. And a lot of times it's under the veil of, well, I'm just hanging around them because they need a good influence.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's very, very hard to be a good influence to somebody unless they're actively wanting to change their life. People always say, you know, people don't change. That's a lie. People do change. Change is very hard. That's why people don't change. They don't want to go through the hard.
Amen.
You know, a lot of times when you want to make an effort to do better in your life, you have to do actually the opposite of what you would think you have to do.
Amen.
Maybe it is you have to let go of people. Even though they might be good people, they need help. Well, they'll find help somewhere else. You got to think about yourself at once. and not fall under that guise. That's what the devil's gonna put in your head. Well, don't leave them behind because you're the only good friend they've got. They might be dragging you down every day. And you say, I can't be around them. They're negative. They're hurting me. The devil says, no, don't leave. He's got you right back. Because you don't know what to do. Okay. I meant to say this at the beginning, and I forgot. Nervous. But one of the two main rules when you do stuff like I do is you never do anything in full view, which is not obstructed behind the curtain, like when you guys saw me do the handcuffs and diagram behind the curtain. It's never do anything in full view. Never show people how you did it. I'm going to break both those rules today. I'm going to be in full view the whole time. You guys are going to see how I escape this. Because this is legitimately how you would do it. If you ever caught in this situation, just know that. The reason I said do the opposite is because I'm not going to make this loose. I'm not going to wiggle out. I'm going to do the opposite of what you would think I would do. Everybody, look. That is actually cutting into my skin. That hurts me. I'm not Superman. That hurts. When you're changing your life and making those hard choices, some of them are going to hurt.
That's right.
They're not going to be easy.
That's right.
The person that told me this in this room, they know who they are, told me just a couple weeks ago that you have to make a change and it's going to hurt, but you have to do it. That's one thing that inspired this lesson to go this way. Change is going to hurt, but it has to happen.
Amen.
In order to move forward.
Amen.
I broke the bond. Only through pain. Only because it hurt. So don't say, this hurts too much, this is hard for me to do, because I don't want to. That's what needs to happen. The devil will put anything he can in your head to stop you doing what you're doing.
That's
And it
right.
might
Amen.
be something simple as making it to church every Sunday. The devil doesn't want you to go to church every Sunday. So he's going to make up anything he can to stop you from doing that.
That's right.
Yep.
But as Jeff can tell you, Jeff's in the military, they're not going to bother with an enemy that's not a threat, right?
That's
That's right.
Why would the devil bother you unless you are a threat to him?
Amen.
That's right.
That's my lesson. Take what you will. Bless you.
Woo-hoo.